Hello pretties, I'm EmberWytch and welcome to The Monster Inside. Now, as you can see, this is an audiovisual novella. It says by Random Seed Games. So I have had this forever. This is not a brand new game. I just never really sat down and read it. And whenever I started YouTube, I was afraid of doing visual novels because I was afraid that no one would find them interesting. But at the same time, I want to play it, so that's what I'm gonna do. I love the music. It's actually really good. My head pounded, ears still ringing slightly. Some of the worst nightmares I'd had in years left me feeling like I've been punched in the jaw. But just like any other day, I dragged myself into the office. There was another notice on the door from Mayor Finetti's office. Permits out of date. They didn't like me much and they were trying to drown me in paperwork. It was a slow month. Weeks since I'd had any real case to work on. So I passed the time pacing the office, smoking and staring at the mirror in the corner, safely covered with an old bedsheet. I don't dare look at my own reflection. I'm too afraid of what I might see. Afraid someday I might have to face what I really am. The girl came in so quiet, I nearly choked on my cigarette. Mister, please, you gotta help me, mister. Okay, so calm down, talk slow. I'm gonna say calm down. Okay, thanks. It's just no one will listen to me. Just tell me your tale. I'm listening. Okay. She eyed me with a dash of suspicion as I tossed back a handful of pills and chased them with a swig of whiskey. Good God, dude. I could tell this might take a while. Her name was Lily. You looking for James? She told me she was his mistress. The man all over the newspapers. The infamous banker, Mr. Reginald Farnsworth. Mr. Farnsworth was a drunk. Philandering bastard. Philandering? Okay. But this girl seemed genuinely concerned that he had recently gone missing. Less concerned about the fact that Mr. Farnsworth's wife had just turned up dead in Central Park 2 nights ago. So Lily says, "You don't understand. He just couldn't have done it. He hated his wife, but he couldn't have killed her. Everyone thinks it was him, but no one believes me. He's gotta be in trouble." I ain't saying I believe you, but what makes you think he's in danger? Well, mister, Jack. You can just call me Jack. Jack. Whoever did that to his wife must have been the one who took him. He would have never left without me. He promised me. I'm sure Mr. Farnsworth promised this poor girl a lot of things. Please, the cops won't listen to me, and they want to bring him in on charges. You gotta prove it wasn't him before they find him. Honestly, I doubt they are in too much of a hurry. Farnsworth had practically the entire police force in his deep pockets, probably why they hadn't found much yet. If they found him and brought him in, it would be due to public pressure. Sometimes a mob with pitchforks is more dangerous than one man with money. You got my curiosity, or I will help you. Okay. I'm gonna say you got my curiosity, but you might not like what I find. Oh, thank you, Mr. Jack. Thank you. But please, be careful. I don't think this was just any murder or kidnapper. I think it was a beast. Beast. The word struck me funny. Like when you jar your elbow on a hard corner. That's not funny, that's awful. Not a word used these days, except in hushed whispers and bedtime stories for children. Oh, there were real enough, all right. They just got better at hiding, controlling their unseemly urges. But I hadn't seen any monsters in nearly 15 years. Back whenever I was still a cop myself. Okay, so is this gonna sort of be like The Wolf Among Us? Interesting theory. I can help you. Leave the detective work to me. Let's not jump to any conclusions. I'm gonna say that one. Having a feeling about it. Something tells me you can get to the bottom of it. You're good at this sort of thing. Sure. Can't you see how busy I am with these cases? I replied a little too harshly. Sarcasm wasn't really my strong suit. Reassured her some more and sent her on her way. I didn't want to scare her, but I warned her before she left to keep her doors locked and call me if she saw anything suspicious. I didn't know if she was in any danger herself, but better safe than sorry. That night, I made my way down to Central Park. It was a long shot, but maybe there was something there that the cops missed. All right, next chapter. The scene already picked clean by the cops days ago, but I've got a knack for finding things others overlook. Oh. A knack, more of a symptom of a condition. Other, less useful symptoms I kept in check, but for the time being, my keen sense of smell would come in handy. Oh, you're a werewolf. It was faint, but I could smell it before I even approached the police line. The scent was less of a thing and more of an emotion. Seduction. Ooh, this might get a little mature. A strangely familiar smell. I expected the scent of trepidation or maybe outright fear, but Mrs. Farnsworth seemed to have been at the height of pleasure when she left this world. Okay, YouTube's gonna cut me out. Sorry, guys. Brought new meaning to a crime of passion. Pushing the thought from my mind, it was time to get down to business. Investigate the scene. Okay. Muddy footprints everywhere, difficult to pick out anything from the prints of the cops left behind in their haste. But cops don't wear $2,000 pairs of Karakinkos? It looked like Mr. Farnsworth was here all right, and walked away on his own 2 feet. A burn mark on a nearby tree caught my eye. I ran my finger along its length and felt a chill go down my spine. This wasn't just any burn mark. This was the mark of an ancient magic. It's doubtful the cops would have picked up on it. Could Lily have been right? Something unnatural was at play here? But I was no stranger to the strange. After looking around for a bit longer, I realized the park had given up all it was hiding from me. So I trudged back to my apartment and my head hit the pillow, like I owed it money. Next chapter. The next morning, I was reeling from another bout of ghoulish nightmares, but I tried to hide my discomfort when I saw Lily was already sitting in my office. Outside my office. She waited wordlessly as I unlocked the door and ripped down another notice from the mayor's office. I motioned for her to step inside, seemingly afraid of what I might say. She finally worked up the courage to ask, "So, what did you find?" Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell her that Farnsworth might still be alive. I probably shouldn't have given her false hope like that, but she seemed like she needed something to hold on to right then. She didn't need to know about the mark on the tree. How do you know that? Where is he? Found his footprints, or there were signs. Okay. There were signs he was at the scene and slipped away. My tone was indifferent towards her as I turned and grabbed a bottle from my desk drawer. The dryness of my throat made it difficult to swallow my meds. But you don't know where he went. Do you think the news this morning is related? What news was that? Haven't you heard? Alright. I'm gonna say no. They found the police chief's wife dead down by the docks. They say it happened last night. Let me guess. Chief Mateo is missing too. My face might have betrayed a hint of satisfaction as she confirmed my suspicions, but it faded quickly. Mateo was a shit cop and a shit chief. He was half the reason I left the force, but now his wife was dead and I had more questions than I had the day before. The gears in my head started to spin, which wasn't helped by the splitting pain in my temples. I told Lily I needed time to work, and she left slightly dejected, wanting more answers than I could provide. That night, the cops had cleared out of the docks. I would slip down and see what I could uncover concerning Miss Adameo's untimely demise. The cool air smelled strongly of salt and oil, and... could it be? That smell again. Like someone had bottled pure arousal and used it as perfume. It hit me like a long-forgotten memory, but the sensual fumes soon gave way to the rush of adrenaline. I knew exactly what that scent reminded me of, and that scared me more than not knowing. I looked down at my hands shaking, the nightmares, the headaches. No, I was better now, reformed. I had to focus, no jumping to conclusions. Follow the evidence. Damn, dude. Okay. Red Phoenix cigarettes. Some shitty brand I smoke every day. Everyone's got their vice. Okay, so everybody's got their vice. Oh. There. Just there. The smallest piece of purple fabric, torn and caught in a splinter of a board. The police report didn't say anything about Mrs. Mateo wearing purple. And it was certainly of a quality that you wouldn't expect down here. Don't see too many high society types around flaunting royal purple threads. I pulled out my own pack of reds and lit up. I could already feel another headache coming on, but looking out over the waves seemed to help me forget. The cold helped me push down the uncomfortable thoughts that had been bubbling up to the top of my brain. We're getting through this pretty fast. Honestly, I don't remember the walk back to the office. Apparently, I spent the night in my easy chair. The air from the docks lingered on my clothes. It was still dark out. No. I checked the clock. How long had I been out? Had I really slept through the entire next day? A newspaper was sitting under my door. As I stood to fetch it, I nearly fell over. A wave of nausea hit me like a ton of bricks. I steadied myself and regained my composure. Before I even picked up the paper, I could already read the headline. Breaking. Mayor missing. Wife found dead. 2 cases is a coincidence, but 3 is a pattern. The cops would come asking questions soon. They knew I had a history of antagonizing all of the victims. I stumbled to my desk and slammed back 3 days worth of inhibitor pills? But I couldn't take any chances. I had to investigate the scene to be sure. I threw on my jacket and went out the door. Lily caught me off guard on the other side. Jack, where are you off to? I've been trying to reach you all day. Alright. Sorry, Lily, don't have time to talk. Gotta go. Okay. I've been busy. I'm off to Miss Vanetti's crime scene. Yes. Okay. But we need to talk when you get back. Stay safe. I feel like she knows, and he's a werewolf. She gave me a kiss on the cheek as I rushed off. Part of me wanted to stay and tell her it would be okay, but it would be a lie. The alley was located just behind the high-rise apartments where Mayor Vietti and his wife lived. I could tell the police were spooked now. The crime scene was even sloppier than the last. They hadn't even bothered to submit the trash into evidence. Okay, well, let's see the trash. Why wouldn't they at least look through the dumpster? It seemed untouched. No one wants to do the dirty work. But I know how to find the good stuff. It really doesn't take long if you know what to look for. Lightweight bags usually mean someone was dumping documents. If you were lucky, they didn't bother to shred them. Jackpot. Shell companies, shady stock trades, bribes. I knew Mayor Vietti was crooked, but this was unbelievable. And there was more. Letters between the Mayor Vietti and Chief Mateo talking about me. How they were trying to get me to shut down. They didn't like me snooping around crime scenes all the time. Well, they weren't here to stop me snooping around this one. Vanetti's car. If he's still alive, why wouldn't he have just left in his car? It didn't make any sense. I honestly wasn't too motivated to find him, but the stakes were too high, and my bet was edging towards the unthinkable. As I searched around for anything that might assuage my fears, I have not heard of that word before. I guess it would mean ease my fears. I caught that scent again. It overwhelmed my other senses with undulating pleasure. It was intoxicating. A weapon used for the weak-willed. A weapon I knew all too well, though it had been many years since I had used it. Was there another like me? Was I being framed? The girl. It's you and the girl are werewolves. It wasn't possible, was it? I was taking my inhibitors. I was reformed. But the nightmares, the headaches, the memory lapses. I couldn't even trust myself. I started walking back out the alley when something shiny caught my eye. A watch. Not just any watch, though. My watch. Ooh. How long had my watch been bare? Probably been there, but surely I just dropped it when I first came down the alley. I checked the time just before I left the office, hadn't I? Or had I used the wall clock? I couldn't be sure. I couldn't be sure of anything. So I ran. I don't know why I ran back to the office. The cops would probably show up any minute, knock my door down and cart me away. They would put it together before long. Maybe it would be best for everyone if I simply faced my own reflection. But Lily was still there waiting for me. Jack, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Huh, my own ghost. Come back to haunt me from the past. You're not making any sense, Jack. Come sit down. You don't understand. You're not safe around me. I took a good last look at her as I prepared to shove her out the door. I noticed she was wearing the same thing she had when she first came to my office 3 days ago. A beautiful purple dress. I knew it! Odd that I hadn't really noticed it before, but it made her seem out of place, out of time. And it was frayed around the edges, torn in places. My chair caught my fall as my knees failed me. It was you. You're the monster. Succubus. That mean he's an incubus? Oh, Jack. We are one and the same, you and I. We are both monsters. I'm simply more honest with myself. There's no such thing as reformation. Those pills you take only make you dull. So he's an incubus and she's a succubus. Beasts like us should never suppress our true nature as you have, incubus. What? Those men were probably dead too, now I figured. She probably took them to her lair and harvested their seed. So, you done all this just to wake me up? You could say that. Though it seemed enough just to have you doubt yourself. You believe you were still capable of such horrors, which means deep down, you probably are. You can't escape it. Now I need you to complete the deed. You took my watch. Messed with my head. Oh, don't act like I didn't do you a favor. Those men hated you and wanted you gone. And now, they're gone. I mustered the strength to stand again, moving casually to the window in the corner. She was right about one thing. I was dull, weak, compared to her. But if I refused her, she'd attack me, and I was dead man. I had to keep her talking. I've never met a succubus who seduces and kills women. Oh, please. Such a 14th century stereotype. I don't discriminate when it comes to pleasures of the flesh. But I do still need an incubus like yourself to take the tainted seed I have harvested from those awful men and plant it among the fertile masses for me. I'm tired of draining my lovers just to survive. I'm ready to settle down, start a family. That maniacal laughter. I positioned myself carefully, making sure she was looking in my direction. Sorry, but I'm not your guy. With a quick flick of my wrist, I whipped the old bedsheet off of the corner mirror. Lily was blinded by her own reflection and sucked into the mirror with a painful, monstrous scream. Trapped. Shielding my own eyes, I pulled a revolver from my desk side drawer and aimed it at the mirror. And fired. Whoa. Oh, that was cool. That didn't take long at all. Whoa, okay. So these are other games by them. So that is cool. All right, well, awesome. So that is The Monster Inside. It was a short little game, maybe 30 minutes tops. And yeah, that was awesome. All right, so if you like this, like button down below. So, and don't forget to cast a spell on the subscribe button as well. I cannot talk. So, anyway. But yeah, if you like those and you like what I do, subscribe, like, comment, and tell me about some other games that you would like. Would you like me to do some of these visual novels every once in a while? Let me know that. Because I also have Cinders, which I really like. Anyway, I'm EmberWytch. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, pretties.